Hi, my name is Mandy and welcome to my YouTube channel What Mandy Made Next. Today is Wednesday the 11th of June 2025 and I thought today I would share with you a couple of finishes, finished projects and my stitching plans for June. Okay, so the first one is a baby quilt that I've finished and I got the idea from this book here. It's called Sweetly Stitched Handmaids by Amy Sinibaldi. So I purchased this book after watching Jen. Hi Jen if you're watching, and her YouTube channel is Jen Bowman. I'll pop a link into her vlog in the description box below because honestly I watched her yesterday and the amount of projects that she's finished or actually working on are absolutely beautiful. So this is called the Mouse House Doll Quilt, okay, and I was really drawn to this and I love these little sentiments what were incorporated into the quilt. So obviously what I've done for a baby quilt, I've made it bigger and I haven't included the mouse houses. So this is the actual quilt. It's all finished now. And I've incorporated the sentiments, I've embroidered them. I have taken some photographs so you can see it in more closer detail. I decided when I bound the quilt I would incorporate this rickrack. This is some I purchased from, it was from Walmart when I was on holiday. And I just think it really finishes it off for me. These fabrics I used are all mainly from Stash. It was that one there and this one here that I purchased. So yeah, it does remind me of, there's it's the fabric designer called Pam Kitty, but it reminds me of her fabrics. So yeah, this is the back. Now this shows you the quilting better. I decided to machine quilt, so I used a walking foot and I've actually stitched the seam. It's quilted either side of the seam, so a 1/8 either side. I don't stitch in the ditch. I used to, but then I did read somewhere that you can actually weaken the seam, which makes sense to me. So yeah, that's what I've done. I've stitched either side of the seam and I think it looks quite pretty. So yeah, I've also popped a little quilt label on. I always do mine as a little pocket. I've bound it the same as the quilt and I've incorporated that little rickrack trim. I love doing my quilt labels like this because I think you can also, if it's a present for someone, a gift, you could always make a little toy or something, or if you want to give a keepsake or a little letter, and you can pop it in that little pocket there. So yeah, so that's my quilt. I have included some footage of me making it and some photographs of the little embroidered sentiments that are incorporated into this quilt. is my planner. I download it from the Fat Quarter shop. It's a free resource and I download it onto my iPad and then input all my projects that I want to work on in the month. So as you can see, on Sunday and Saturday I have put BP Quilt. Now don't get worried, it's not British Petroleum, it's standing for Beatrix Potty. So for those of you who've been with me for a while, you may recall I did start to make some quilt blocks for this quilt. So this is the first one. This is on linen. Let me stand up and show you. So this is Mrs. Tiggywinkle. Now you probably can't make her out, but that's an eye there. There's the other eye, and then you can see her nose. So that might help you to focus, because whenever I ask anyone they can never make out who it is. But I had this special, it was like a dissolvable cross-stitch canvas, and so I adhered it to this linen and cross-stitched that way, and then I washed it and it dissolved. So the linen was purchased from a charity shop, and I thought I'd leave this little trim on. I thought it was quite pretty. Now I'm going to show you a photograph of the actual pattern. And this might glare a bit, but you might be able to make her out a bit better there. So this was a pattern. I purchased this from eBay, not realising it was just a cutout really from a magazine. But I think it makes quite a pretty picture actually. I might cross stitch that, but if I put them side by side you can probably work out now Mrs. Tiggywinkle there. So that's my first block. My second one, I decided to use a technique of thread painting. I have a book and the authoress is, I think her name's Emillie, oh what's her name? Just gone from me. Emillie Ferris, that's it. I'm sure it's Emillie Ferris. I'll pop a picture of the book in. But basically you draw on your linen whatever you want to embroider, and then you go round the outline with a running stitch, and then you use just one strand of your floss, you see, and you paint with thread, and this is Squirrel Nutkin. I'm really pleased because this is the first time I've ever painted with thread, so I was really happy how this has turned out. So that's my second block. Now I haven't decided exactly on the quilt pattern as yet, but I purchased these. It was a long time ago. It was like a Fat Quarter pack. There's a lot more to this pack, but I'm just showing you a few of the fabrics I purchased. They're all Beatrix Potter themed. I love this one, the cutting with lettuce. And I purchased these from Julie at So Unique. She's also got this YouTube channel. And I'll pop a link into that as well, because she runs a small business, and I think everyone, you know, I like to support small businesses, so yeah, if you can go give us some support, that would be great. One of the fabrics is this lovely script. It's absolutely delightful, and it's all about, you know, Peter Rabbit and his sisters and Mr. and Mrs. McGregor. And I thought, wouldn't it be lovely if I embroidered on top of this block with this lovely script behind it. Yeah, I like the idea of that. So yeah, I'll pop a link in, like I say, to Julie's channel. Small business which I like to support. So I haven't quite decided how I'm going to piece all these blocks together. So I was thinking of making some hexagons and English paper, piecing them together. I don't know yet. I might make just some ordinary blocks up and, you know, sort of piece together different squares, but yeah, this is how far I've got so far. So in the next few weeks I just want to make some more of these up, and then I can decide on the pattern. So yeah, that's what I'm hoping to achieve this month, to get some work, you know, quite a lot of progress on this Beatrix Potter quilt. On a Monday I like to work on a miniature project, and the first one I've been working on is called Sweet and Simple Throughout the Years, and this is the June one. So you may recall I signed up to a subscription facilitated by Liberty Bell, and each month you were sent a kit, and these are like door hangers, you see. I mean, you don't have to hang them on your door. It's got to be backed yet. I mean, you could finish them off by putting them on a board. But I really love this one. So I found this in my craft room the other day when I was giving it a bit of a tidy. So this is the June one. And I must admit, this is my favourite one I've done so far. I love the little blue eggs in the nest there. So I've just got to finish this off, like I say, by backing it and do some embroidery on the plant pot and on the leaves. So that's that. My next plan make is from this book. It's a Tilda. It's Crafting Springtime Gifts. I really would love to make one of these hens. I think they're great. So let me just show you a bit closer. Fantastic. Really good. So yeah, that's what I'd like to make. So I've got some fabrics upstairs, so hopefully once this is completed I'll be able to start on that. This one is the Tilda retro dolls. So I think they were called kitsch dolls, but I'll show you a photograph. And I know Susie from Susie Stitcher, she stitched these, I think it was last year. But you can download the pattern off the website, off the Tilda website. And when I come to do that, I'll navigate and show you how I did that. And then once I get my printer up and running again, I'll print off the pattern. Because I'd like to make a couple to put on my dresser behind me. And then chicken placemats. Now, when I was on holiday last year, I purchased this panel from a quilt shop. Isn't it gorgeous? Absolutely beautiful, the colours. I love this. And in between, because you've got to be careful how you slice it, there's like this chicken look wire. I think it's fab. These are the instructions on the panel here. But I think these roosters put me in mind of like a French farmhouse look. I remember, I think it was, it must be 10 years ago. And I've still got one of the paper pads. It's by Graphic 45. So I will show you that in another vlog. But I think it was called French Farmhouse. And they were these sort of colours. And I've also purchased this fabric that'll go with it. So I'll just show you side by side. I wear it. There we go. And then, yeah, you see. So this will be at the back of the placemat. Now my table, I think it's 6 chairs and there's only 4 roosters. So I'll have to improvise and make probably a couple of placemats out of that fabric. But I thought that would be lovely. In fact, what would even be nicer would be, because I've got 2 lots of this fabric, if I made a table runner, you know, and incorporated this in it. That would look lovely, wouldn't it? So yeah, that's what I mean by my checking placements. Right, Tuesday is my cross stitch day. I'm not going to get all my projects out. I have been working on each one and there is some progress from when I last spoke to you. But, you know, I'd like to show you quite a lot of progress. So I'll show you that at the end of the month. But I'm working on Hawks Run Hollow. The good news is that I've only got one more block on that, and that's the December one to stitch. I'm working on my Sunflower Farm by Buttermilk, and also Vintage Farmhouse, and that's by Laurie Pengley. I think her company is Pansy Patch Quilts, but I accessed the pattern for my Vintage Farmhouse from Primitive Quilts and Projects magazine, to which I subscribe to. On a Wednesday, I like to work with wool, and I either knit or crochet. So I have 3 projects now, more or less sorted out for my wool Wednesday. And the first one is this lovely boxes full of crochet. This was a free pattern from Debbie Shaw. It was on her YouTube. And look, it's absolutely full now of these lovely granny squares. So, yeah. Need to sew the ends in. But yeah, as you can see, this was a free pattern from Crochet Me Lovely. She's on YouTube. And I'll pop a link in down below to her YouTube tutorial where she gives a free one and shows you in great detail how to make these squares, how to crochet them. It's a very easy, simple tutorial to follow. She's also got a website and it shows you a photo tutorial and also written instructions, so very in-depth. So thank you for your lovely free pattern. So now I need to sew the ends in, and I need to stitch these squares together to make a cardigan for my eldest daughter. So I daren't, I mean there's loads, I daren't make any more. I don't want to make too many, and I've got lots of spare granny squares left. So in the week hopefully I'll see her, and we'll discuss what size she wants, and I'll start seaming those squares together. The next planned project is living in this project bag, which I made. Isn't it beautiful? I love this fabric. I've had this in my craft room for a couple of years now. I think it's so pretty. So I finally fashioned a project bag, and I've used my Suffolk, well, some people call them yo-yo makers, but it's like a Suffolk, I forgot what they call now. Is it like a Suffolk punch or something? But anyhow, I thought that would look pretty on the ends of the ribbon. So this is also a Tilda fabric, the pink. I've used that in the baby quilt as well. So yeah, so this is full of little balls of wool. So let me explain what's happened. So I think it was about 3 years ago I attended the Buxton Wool Gathering Festival. And you know, you buy these odd hanks of yarn, and then you don't know what to do with it. And it's funny because when I was watching Jen, she'd said the same thing. I thought, how weird is that? Because she was saying that she got so many that she ended up doubling up the yarn, and she crocheted this blanket. You've got to go have a watch of her channel because this blanket is beautiful. It's like a watercolour. So anyway, I unravelled it, as you can see. I haven't got a swift, and everything went a little bit of peak-tongue there. I couldn't wrap it, I didn't wrap it round the chair neither, so I just thought, well, you know, I always do, and I don't know why I do it, and I've ended up having to keep breaking it off, so I've got all these little balls now. but it's like a pinky blue colour with stellina in. So I thought I'll make either knit or crochet a shawl. But you always end up with a shawlette, don't you? Because you haven't got enough yarn. So when I was on holiday a couple of years ago in Florida, I purchased this. And this, oh, it's blowing out in a minute. There we are. That's the true colour. And it's like dark petrol-y blue with a stellina in. And they actually wound it off the hank for me. But I thought I could perhaps either crochet or knit the shawl and then edge it in this blue, you see. I thought that would go, oh, there we go, would go. Okay, let's just do something that sets to stop the blowing out. There we go. So, I don't know what you think. So it's finding a pattern. Now I have got the Victoria shawl by Cherry Heart, Sandra Paul of Cherry Heart, and I've crocheted that before. I think that's really pretty, and I could crochet it using this wool and edge it with this, make a nice lace edging, but I don't know yet. The thing is with this, I think when you crochet you don't, I think when you knit you get more of a picture of the flex and the colour changes, if you know what I mean. So I might knit a shawl. Not looking forward to doing that because it'll be on little needles and it's going to take me ages, but that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just looking out for a good shawl pattern at the moment. But yeah, hopefully this next Wednesday I'll start the shawl. And then living in this project bag, this is one of my favourites. I've got all this wool. It's a double knit. It's a robin. I'll bring it a little bit closer and you can see it's an acrylic. It's Bonnie Babe. That's true colour. And I thought I need to get this knit up. Now I can see a little pom-pom here in this bag, so I think at some point I crocheted for my middle granddaughter. So this is left over. So there's 100, I'd say there's a good 150 gram there, and I think there's going to be enough for a little cardigan for my baby granddaughter. So I haven't quite decided. There's two patterns here. This one's patterns. It says here low cost Tunstall. How old it is. If I was going, I would do the V-neck because I think it's better for especially for a baby girl. If they've got a fancy dress on, you want to still show that bit of the dress. And I'm airing more towards this one by Hayfield. It's got a little fancy pattern running up the front. So that's all my planned projects for my wool. Wednesday is my WIPGO day. Now in May there were two numbers called which are related to the projects Cliffside Beacon and Chocolate Coffee. So you've all seen me working on the Cliffside Beacon. I'm not going to show that, but this is my chocolate coffee. So I haven't started this one yet. It's by Erica Michaels. Now I was going to stitch the strawberry, but I thought, you know, I'll have a go first at making one of the smalls. Now this is meant to be 32 count and it's an opalescent fabric, and I just thought, you know, when I actually, you can see where I've tried to stitch a bit, I just couldn't see the holes at all in this fabric. Honestly, I'm going to actually do a recount on this, but yeah, I just couldn't see. In fact, I've been having to wear my Magna glasses and also look through my magnifier, which isn't good, is it, that? But anyway, I decided to stitch this one first, take time to savour the chocolate, and I finished stitching, doing all the stitching. So let me just stand up and show you that. So I'm really happy that this is complete. So it's just 2 brown colours that you use. I'm using DMC. And yeah. So all I've got to do now is just cut this out, actually overlock and fashion it into a pillow. But I've decided I'd use a brown velvet, I think, for the backing and the front bit of the pillow. So I'm going to have a look on some websites and purchase enough to make a skirt. I'm going to use a cotton velvet, not a stretch. I'll purchase enough, and then out of the scraps I can use, you see, for these 2 pillows and the 2 strawberry tops. So that's what I'm going to do. So yeah, there's a little finished. Numbers 21 and 23 have been called, and this is a small pillow. So I'm going to show you what I'm looking to stitch. The first one is this one. It's called Love, and the O is a tomato pin cushion. This was a free pattern from Primrose Cottage Stitches. So if you sign up to the newsletter, I think it's the last Friday, I'm not quite sure, but once a month they will send you a newsletter, and there'll be a link to a free cross stitch pattern and also a free quilt pattern. So I sign up to both of them. The other 2 projects I'm looking at are some seed packets. So I sign up to Readly, and it was in the June 2021 Just Cross Stitch magazine, and there were these lovely seed packets. Aren't they gorgeous? So I thought those would make lovely little pillows. They've used seed pack towels, but I'm just going to use some good old Ada or something like that, or linen, and stitch these and make them into a pillow. So this is designed by Elizabeth Spurlock of Saving Graces for Fine Needle Arts. So yeah, it's, like I say, it's in the Just Cross Stitch magazine, and it was in the June 2021 issue. So that's my WIPGO plans sorted, and like I say, I just need to fashion this into a pillow. Whilst I'm on about cross stitch, I'll just show you my Glory of Autumn, because this was a dimensions kit, and I was just finishing off by completing some back stitch. This is now all complete, so I'll just stand up and show you that. You can see the ducks are in a little bit more detail there. So that's my Glory of Autumn. So yeah, I had to back stitch all around that water wheel as well. Took me ages, but I just kept beavering away. It's all done. So that's ready for framing. At the end of the day, it's lovely to have the projects, but I do like my seasons. So I wanted to also incorporate, perhaps on a Tuesday, some more, another project that was more related to summer. So I've made this lovely project bag. I got the fabric the other day. It was from Rose Garden Patchwork. I think that's the shop, the online shop. Isn't it gorgeous? Just loving this. Okay, so I've just got 1 pocket in this. I am going to put some felt this side, for my, my threads and my orts and things. I made a little needle book out of the scraps. I haven't put needles in yet, but will do. And I've got this scrap of fabric. I think this is left over when I stitched the cringles. I think this is a 14 count Ada in the pewter colourway. So in this project bag, I've kitted it up. It's this pattern. It's called Sweetest Cherry Pie. This is actually a pocket for an apron, but I thought that would look lovely mounted as a picture, or on a flat back. Isn't it pretty? So yeah, I want to do some summer stitching, you see, and I thought it looked really retro. Yeah, I love it. It's from the World of Cross Stitching. I don't know which issue. So what I'll do is I will look at my Readly and see if I can, yeah, there's another picture of it. See if I can fathom out who the designer is. I think her name is Susan, that's all I've got so far. So I'll have a look, see if I can trace who the actual designer is. So these are the flossies so far. So I'm loving, can't wait, stitch. I love green, look at that green, that's lovely. So yeah, so thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this vlog, and if you did, please leave me a like. Even more important, subscribe if you haven't already, and also leave me a comment, even if it's just emoji or if you just type the letter A. Any interaction is really good. So next week I'm hoping to share with you how I basted up this quilt. So I like to make a lot of double, king size quilts. My partner likes it when they hang over the side of the bed. So yeah, gone are the days when I got onto my hands and knees and basted a quilt. That was 20 odd years ago, not now. So I'll be showing you a method I use, and to get that quilt back really straight, and yeah, how I basted it up and the different quilting patterns I incorporated into this quilt. So until I see you next week, happy crafting, bye.